weather is hot and touch the sky, you got women on your mind. Go out and see what you can find. Take a rap or a meal, just do what you feel. Do a turn or a turn of 25. You can make it good and lay by. We're not dirty, we're not mean, but we do as we please. We go fishing or go sailing in the sea. Life's for living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah, we're happy. Da-da-da. Dee-dee-da-dee-dee-da-da-da. Yeah. All right, all right, all right. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, it's party time. It'll soon be summertime. We go driving or maybe we'll settle down. Bring your friends and we'll all go into town. When the weather is hot and touch the sky, you got women on your mind. Go out and see what you can find. Take a rap or a meal, just do what you feel. Do a turn or a turn of 25. You can make it good and lay by. We're not dirty, we're not mean, but we do as we please. We go fishing or go sailing in the sea. Life's for living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah, we're happy. Da-da-da. Dee-dee-da-dee-dee-da-da.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Great to hear all the chatter and the camaraderie. It gives me joy and gives me a boost of energy. Thank you very much for that. Welcome to our town hall for August the 6th. Is that today's date? The 6th, 2024. Welcome, welcome. And as we always do, I'm going to invite Chaplain Lori to come up and to lead us in a word of prayer to bless our meeting time together.
And I would add that, along with what Tiffany said, it makes us excited to be together. It's like refreshing water on a hot day to be together. When I walked out the back of the healthcare center, I heard finches singing. And I thought, even if it's hot, they're excited to be out in nature. And that's kind of the excitement I feel in my spirit. Let's pray. Gracious Lord, I thank you for this day that you have made for us to enjoy. I pray that you would bless this meeting, and I pray that we would have open and good communication. Thank you that you are with us as we continue to be good neighbors to one another. I pray for your blessing. In your name, amen.
All right, so I'm going to wear a couple hats today. Our good friend Ryan Fritz, our Chief Financial Officer, is actually in the Midwest as we speak. He had the wonderful pleasure of piling into a very large U-Haul and assisting his son and future daughter-in-law to move to Nebraska. And I overheard Roger giving him some inside scoop of good places to eat along the way. I don't think he was looking forward to that drive. And did not have much confidence in the U-Haul, but he is not going to be with us today. Denise Ingram is actually off on this week's for vacation, celebrating her birthday. So you just have a handful of us here today, so we look forward to getting through the agenda. I'm not going to say it because then I'll come back to bite me, but we had an efficient meeting this morning, so we'll see. So some community updates or some things that that were on Denise's desk to share with you. Wanted to just put some faces with some names and introduce you to Hillary Flory. Hillary is a part of our admissions team, our admissions coordinator. So if you are someone that maybe has to go in for some surgery, there's a chance that you might need to spend a little mini vacation in our rehabilitation center. Hillary might be someone that you speak to. You will also potentially speak to her partner, Brooke Carpenter. Both of those ladies are primarily responsible for admissions into our rehab or skilled areas. So if you're distracted now by the words on the screen, Chuck will give us a little bit of chat about that later on, but we wanted to add closed captioning. We know in large rooms of this nature, and not everybody has a booming voice like myself, sometimes it's harder to hear in different spaces. So adding closed captioning hopefully will make it a little easier for those. The closed captioning is also happening on the television screens when you view it from the comfort of your home as well. So moving on to the screen, the lady in the center is Miss Lori Brindle. Many of you might have had the opportunity to meet Lori as she has been spending some time at the front desk of this building. However, Lori will be transitioning into the marketing office. She is everyone's favorite person, Helen Keckler's replacement. Helen will be retiring here in a couple months, so Lori is working hard to try to fill those shoes. And then we use this slide in several of our team member meetings, but we also wanted to put the picture out for Monica Miller, who is our payroll coordinator. And if you're a team member here, the payroll coordinator is pretty darn important. So putting her face out there, Monica works alongside the finance team in payroll on a part-time basis. I wanted to give you an update on the Scotland Road project. And just to remind you that the 5 lots that we originally placed up for contract have been contracted. So if you have been up and down the street, you have seen that we have lowered the last standing house in the block between the Menno Haven entrance, main entrance, and Northgate Commons Road. We also took that opportunity to demolish one of the homes that was in the next block north, between Northgate Commons and Northville Boulevard. But at this point in time, we are not contracting that out to sell. We do not own all, and we own a couple homes in that block, but not all of them. But that home was not, what's a nice way to put it, Brian? Not safe to turn into a rental. So there is another rental property that we do manage within that block, but the house that we dropped was not safe. So we took that opportunity for less maintenance and less worry to go ahead and demo it and turn it into grass. I also, before I jump from here, because it just jumped into my brain when we talked about Scotland Road, just to give everyone, if you were not impacted, but some of you were, that we did have a UGI gas meter issue last night that did result in us losing gas to several of the areas, including the Life Center, the properties out on Scotland Road, the Brookview Healthcare Center, the 100s. No, not the 100s. You're on a different meter. Northgate. So if you had dinner at Northgate last night, you got a paper plate because there was no dishwasher. But it was my understanding that the gas was turned back on. However, it's just not that simple as a switch flip. We have to go in, and the gas company has to go and reignite, refire. Look, I have no idea. Purge. They had to do stuff. So they just couldn't pull in and walk away. So we thank everybody for their grace and flexibility. I want to shout out to Brian Garber, Jim Metz, and to Kevin Biesecker, who was actually just returning yesterday from vacation and came in last evening to make sure that that all went smoothly. And I believe that they were still kind of fussing with that till about 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning and beyond. I want to talk to you about the Northgate Pool. We are going to be resurfacing the Northgate Pool. So it is long overdue. We do not have a date yet. The contractor has been contracted. We sent the deposit. We're just waiting on the date from that contractor. So when that occurs, that pool will be closed. We'll try to get it back open as soon as possible. But I also want to be transparent that at this point, when the pool is empty, we will be putting the large lift equipment in and taking down the banners. Those banners are originals, and they are a wee bit dirty. And if you have been in the Northgate pool, you'll realize that there's just not an easy way to access said banners unless the pool is empty. And so I know Brian and Billy have been on a mission to try to find replacements or a different system, maybe something on a pulley system that we can easily take up and take down. It is just not that simple. And to replace those, it's looking to be about $17,000. And that's a no. Okay, that's a no. So to me, those were great. Sayonara. So we will not be replacing those, but we will be resurfacing the pool. And as soon as we know that date, we will let you know. I want to talk a little bit about our grounds department. I lovingly said this morning at Chambers Point, if you are familiar with the Chambers Point, out in front of the manor, there was a sugar maple that has been there forever. We are trying to figure out exactly how old that tree is, but it is any postcard, any picture, any historical picture I have ever seen of Penn Hall Girls School. That large tree in the front of between the manor and the Renaissance has always been full grown, and it had to come down. So we took a moment of silence for the tree today. Today was the first day I went up that was actually everything was down and it felt naked there, right? And I felt loss. I felt a little mourning. But we are going to try to do something fun with the wood that is able to be salvaged. I believe they're making some bowls, wooden bowls, and then we want to incorporate some of that wood, either be it a shelf or a tabletop or something, and incorporate it into our history hallway. that's between the manor and the healthcare center there. I also wanted to just acknowledge to you all that I have been hearing you loud and clear about your concerns about our grounds department. I have heard you loud and clear that it has seemed to have been a shift, that the expectation is that if we need or see something that needs to be done, the only way it gets done is if we put a work order in. And that's not what we want our culture to be. So I want to publicly stand up in front of you and say that I have 110% confidence in our director, Corey. I believe that he can lead the grounds team to meet the expectations and the mission here at Menno Haven. I know he has the full support of his supervisor, Brian Garber, but I wanted just to publicly express and acknowledge to you, I've heard your concerns. We are looking at some actionable plans, maybe some reorganization of the grounds team, so we are able to meet what we say our commitments are here at Menno Haven, to keep the outside grounds area lovingly beautiful. I want you to be proud of where you live. Okay, so stay tuned for that, but I just want to stand in front of you and say, yes, we are working on it, and yes, I believe Corey is capable of getting us there. Okay. Next, I'm going to put my Chief Financial Officer hat on. I did joke this morning that, Steve said, well, you should just put a slide up there that has a whole bunch of numbers jumbled up and go, this is it. We got it. We good. Move on. Because I joke sometimes that Ryan and the finance team speak a little bit different language than I'm used to. But he's making it good for me here because he sent along some pictures. So Ryan gave us these slides, and these are our top priorities, of course, are our bond covenants. And you'll see here that our current debt service coverage ratio is 1.52, and we are required to be at a 1.2, so we are doing well there. Our days cash on hand is at 320, where we are required to be at 150. So we're doing well there as well. So those are good news. Some finance highlights. And I told you I got these new glasses. And even now I can't see all the way back there. But so this is what I remember. At the top, I think it talks about our operating revenue. And it says that we have exceeded that operating revenue. So we have met our budgeted goal there and have gone a little bit above it. And we really contribute that to our census in our skilled areas, especially in our rehab, as well as the Brookview and Chambers Point healthcare centers. The next section there highlighted is our operational expense, and that we were unfavorable to that. It's not a massive significant amount, but we try hard to hit those budgetary numbers. And primarily, I think where we are skewed there is our labor costs, all right? And budgeting that labor is the majority of the expense where we're over in budget. And I'm going to jump next to a team services update. And the main slide that I have up here now is to really talk to you about two vital positions that we are recruiting for within that department. And we are currently do not have anyone in these positions. The first position is our talent acquisition specialist. That's just a fancy title for a recruiter, okay? A recruiter. And then the second position is an HR generalist, and I have HR generalist / employee relations. Currently, our HR generalist in our team services department is Karen White-Jones. Her specialty is our employee benefits, workers' compensation, Family Medical Leave Act. She has a different skill set. So we are out really recruiting for an HR specialist or generalist that their expertise, their love, their comfort level is employee relations. Okay? So just to, again, be a little transparent, when I talk about the labor being over, one thing that the team services group is really tackling right now is that, gone are the days where we post a rate, an hourly rate, and a potential new employee calls up and says, woohoo, I'm in, I'll take it. Now there is a lot of negotiation. There is a lot of competition. Even here locally in our area, we use Indeed, which is a job. Gone are the days of an ad in a newspaper, right? You go on these platforms to look for open positions. And we know that even our local competitors are offering an additional $5 per hour for our licensed staff than what we are paying them right now. So there is, it's just not that simple to say, okay, well, we'll post an open position and we'll match that rate and give that person an additional $5 more an hour. What happens to our person that has already been working here for 5 years, right? That causes feelings. That creeps, and we have to keep pushing and pushing. So those labor expenses being over, that pressure of wages is what's really weighing on us right now. Okay. All right. Now some for happy times. That was pretty good happy times. We're going to have Billy Torrey come up. She has a variety of auxiliary updates as well as a plethora of community updates.
Thank you, Tiffany. Good afternoon. First, I'd like to start off with some auxiliary updates. First, I'd like to talk about our Music Fest that will be coming up on Saturday, September 21st as part of our 60th anniversary celebration. The event will be here in the Event Center from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We'll have heavy hors d'oeuvres, beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. We'll have music by the Cruisers, which is the same band that we had here last year, and they were fantastic. The cost is $60 per person, and you can pay by cash, check, or charge your Menno Haven account. And a question that was asked this morning, if I pay by check, who do I make that check out to? And you make it out to the Menno Haven Auxiliary. You did receive this, I believe was probably the save the date card, but invitations will be coming out soon. But I've already had a few folks reach out already asking for their tickets. So if you know you're coming and you're ready for your tickets, please send me an email, call me, and I'll be glad to get those to you. Also, let me just go back because I don't have any more slides. I was told I needed to have more slides. I'm sorry. Some other things that the auxiliary has coming up in the near future. Saturday, October 5th, it will be the chicken barbecue, Smith's Chicken Barbecue out at Lowe's. And again, we don't have all of that quite confirmed yet, the specific time and how much the dinner or half a chicken will cost. So the more details to follow with that. And the auxiliary also just asked me to give a couple thank yous. They would like to thank everybody that participated in our first pancake breakfast back on June 1st. For being the first event, it was ever so great. We had lots of participation. I believe we lost count, but we're thinking we had about 170. And we certainly couldn't have done it without Roger flipping pancakes for us and Jeremy. And we profited about $900 from that event. So that was pretty good for a 2-hour event. And those dollars will get spent back to Menno Haven to buy projects. And the last thing the auxiliary asked me to thank was we had a very nice donation made in memory of a resident that had lived here. The family had chosen to the Menno Haven Auxiliary to make a donations to. So we have acknowledged the family for making that donation. And we're just very appreciative of that family making the donation, and not to take away from Chuck, but the auxiliary likes donations as well too. So anytime you would like to donate, whether it's in memory of somebody or just because, we love to have your donations. So that's all I have for the auxiliary. So now I'm going to do some more community updates. And I do have a slide for this one. The blade sharpening. Yes, this has been a great response to the blade sharpening, so thank you. Doug Ryder from Sharp Again will be coming on Monday, August the 19th. All of his time slots are filled for the 19th, so we had to open a second date to the very next evening on August the 20th. So there's still time if you would like to have your scissors sharpened, a knife sharpened. Please reach out to Doug. You can call him or scan the QR code to get your time slot. He'll be at the pavilion from 4:30 to 7:30, and we'll reevaluate if we need to have him come back in a few months or next year sometime, but we've had great response for that. There will be some paving done in front of the Manor Building and Renaissance. Interstate paving will be here, weather permitting, starting Monday, August the 12th. If you're familiar with over there in front of the Manor and the Renaissance, there's a skinny sidewalk that runs the whole length from the brick wall all the way down. They're removing that sidewalk and are going to put pavement all the way over. So if you're over there, just be aware that that's happening. The area may be a little bit congested, but will still be passable if you need to access the front of the Manor or the Renaissance building. And if all goes well, Brian tells us that should be about a 2-day job. We're going to hold you to that, Brian. Please don't, he said. Something else new, it's been in the Haven Connect, a new shopping opportunity. Aldi's grocery shopping will also begin on Monday, August the 12th. This will be the second Monday of every month. The bus will depart from Brookview at 9 o'clock, Chambers Point 9:15. A few specific things about shopping. At Aldi's, you do need a quarter to access a shopping cart. They do not have shopping bags. You can purchase brown paper bags, but it's recommended that you take your own shopping bags. They do have one cashier to check you out, but they also have 6 self-checkouts, but you must use your credit card at the self-checkouts. You can pay with cash at the register with the cashier. And they do not have electric carts available there either if you depend on an electric cart to get you around shopping. Please call transportation at the famous number 717-261-2526 to reserve your spot if you would like to go on the Aldi's shopping trip next Monday. An update from our massage therapist. Starting in September, she will need to change her hours, and her hours will be offered on Wednesday and Fridays instead of Thursdays and Fridays, and she will be offering massages from 10 to 2. And she also needed to change her 30-minute massage to 25 minutes just due to the overwhelming amount of massages, a request of 30-minute massages that she's been getting. So just gives her a little bit more time in between to get the room ready and get the next person in. She's adding a few more treatment options. She's going to offer a back and foot scrubs and cupping, and those will be an additional $15 with the massage that you're receiving. Community Shred Day is Friday, October the 11th, with the rain date on Friday, October the 18th. Here at Brookview, the site will be down at the service center around the back from 9 to 9:30, and then over at Chambers Point from 9:45 to 10:15 in the front parking lot of the Renaissance. I've had a few calls about transportation to the voting poll, which is on November the 5th. Please call transportation if you need a ride to the voting poll, and please let us know which voting poll you go to. I know we have some that go to Scotland and some that go over to the Park Avenue Church. And I'm not sure if there's a third location here for some of the folks that live here. St. Paul. Yeah, Chambers Point goes to Park Avenue, and then some go to St. Paul. So there's actually 3 locations. So please just make, when you call in, please make whomever you speak to on the phone where your poll is located so we get you to the correct location. And the last thing I have, just hot off the press this morning, we have talked about the Rock Steady Boxing in our Coffee and Conversations, and I have some updates about that. that they're looking to start this Rocksteady Boxing on Tuesday, September the 4th. This will be held at Village Square down in the social rec room. Classes are to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The setup is 2:30, classes from 3 to 4, and breakdown is from 4 to 4:15. And I also have communication that they would like to come on Wednesday, August the 14th at 2:30 to offer a Rocksteady Boxing information hour where anyone interested in the class can come and meet the coach and learn more about Rocksteady Boxing. So whether you want to take the class or be a volunteer as a cornerman, that would be the perfect opportunity for you to come. So we'll get some information out on the portal and the in-house channel about that, so you remember those dates for next week. I think that is already. So, all right, thank you. That's all I have. Next, I'd like to invite Roger up, minus Shelley. She didn't want to make an appearance today.
Yeah, she's back at training camp already for next year, so we'll see. Thank you, Billy. I don't have a lot to share this afternoon, but I do have slides. So you know, we're heading into that most glorious time of the year coming up very soon, vaccine season. So this is just a teaser to mark your calendars. The community nurses will be hosting a health fair on October 22nd. I think it's probably going to run most of the day, but they didn't want me to give any specific times just yet. But we'll have a lot of cool things there. I'm sure there'll be blood pressure clinics and, well, a lot of things. But most importantly, you know, that'll be an opportunity for you to get that annual flu vaccine. But wait, that's not all. You know, again, as the years have progressed, we certainly are seeing more and more opportunities to get stuck. So not only with the influenza vaccine that'll be available, if we can get 75 people to raise their hands, Walmart Pharmacy, they helped us with the shingles vaccine clinic earlier in the year. They will come back and they will offer both the RSV vaccines, which the CDC is now recommending. The last time I talked to you, they were saying, well, if you talk to your physician and they think it's a good idea, then you probably should. But the CDC has now said, yes, anyone 65 and over should get an RSV vaccine. Right now, it's a one-time vaccine, so not annually. So for those of you who've already had it, you won't want to get it again this year, but this would be your opportunity to get both the influenza and the COVID boosters at the same time. You know, they say that that's fine. You can get them both the same day and just get the pain over all at once. But we do need folks to raise their hands and say that they're interested. So to reserve your spot, all you need to do is call those community nurses. You don't need to talk to them. Just give them your name and which vaccines you're interested in. And if we can get 75 takers, then we'll be able to host the RSV and the COVID booster clinic. So I'm sure that shouldn't be an issue. All right, that's all I've got for you today. So the main event, Chuck Nelson, come on down.
Good afternoon. I should tell some of you that aren't aware, but you know, you get bits and pieces, and you might not have been at our talent show a few weeks ago, and that's residents and team members who came and had a talent, and this room was packed. And Roger brought, they were talking about this, Roger brought Shelley his beloved box turtle, and he was dressed as a guy going through the jungles, and Shelley was supposed to fly, and everyone was going, yeah, right. And Shelley did fly. It was the best act. So anyway, Roger and Shelley, that's who it is. Second, I get the opportunity to go out and visit with so many of you, and I talk a lot, but I do listen too. And I find out things that maybe are bothering you, or things that you like, or things that you may need. And one thing that surprised me, didn't surprise me, but it made me sad, was the number of people that said, I don't come to the town meetings or coffee and conversations because I can't hear. And I got to thinking about that. I stopped a lady this morning going into the meeting at Chambers Point. I said, where's your husband? She said, oh, he can't hear. He's not coming. Very frustrating. I have hearing aids, so now I think I can hear. My wife said I couldn't hear, so she made me get them. I heard her, but anyway, I got them. But we, Ryan, our CFO, and myself work with Steve, our director of IT, and we came up with what you see on the screen, and I think that helps a lot. We also have these. I raised money for these years ago, wondered where they were. They're over there, and you just put them on, and you can hear. So they're there, and about 5 or 10 minutes after we started, Steve told me, oh, I got it working. I wondered what blew out my eardrum. He has something in here, I don't know what it's called, a circle or something, that if you have hearing aids, it'll pick it up in your hearing aids. So we are trying to overcome that problem, because it is frustrating, no doubt about it. And so hopefully we'll have more people in attendance. Okay. With development, our fundraising, Menno is a very philanthropic organization, and I thank all of you, because we couldn't do half the things we do without your generosity. And the key is you make a difference. Our benevolent fund, that I think all of you know about, that's been here since Menno was founded, and it has served so many people, residents, that have depleted their funds. No one gets put out because they can't pay. Our goal this year is $750,000. It runs us about, a little over $1 million a year, and we supplement some from operations, but as you can see, we're close to, I think I need new glasses, close to $500,000, and our big push is at the end of the year. But to see individuals, no one knows their own benevolence, and I've gone to meet with many of them, when we tell them you got nothing to worry about, the board approved you getting benevolence, their faces, many of them cry. I mean, makes it worthwhile. And it's all because of all of you. And I got this card. I get a lot of cards. Most of them are nice, but this one was real special. It's from Charlie and Maria Booth, who now live at Chambers Point. They had lived in a villa here. And I might mention that Maria is from Puerto Rico, and her father was a diplomat. And when he came to Washington, she went to Penn Hall Girls School here. So she went right back to the manor, which is near the room she stayed in 65 years ago. Pretty amazing. What goes around comes around. But here's a card that she sent me. She said, Chuck, our grandson and his new wife have asked their wedding guests that instead of gifts, they donate to their favorite charity. We have chosen Menno as the favorite charity benevolent fund. Please accept these gifts in their name. These kids are in their 20s. That's pretty special, and you can see what it has meant to them, and the people, when they come to visit, they see people around here being served. So that's special. That really says what we're all about. Okay, the Hope House. There's a lot here to talk about. First I'll say that the Hope House is in conjunction with Habitat for Humanity. It is going to be for a team member. Now, we put some signs out front. Hallie had some signs made, one here and one at Chambers Point. And I started getting calls right as you come in. Is that where the house is being built? And I said, well, no. And I began to think, well, naturally, if they didn't know about it, they would think it was going to be built there. But we have Justin Hoke here from Habitat's going to tell you all about it, where it's going to be built. But we have to raise $250,000. We are started September 4th will be the groundbreaking. And we raised about $50,000 so far in contributions and in-kind gifts. And in-kind gifts are, there's a lot of contractors contributing their time and materials, and we assign a value to that. And that is also added as we raise money. We put the bricks on that up. So to tell you a little bit more about it, how this works, and Habitat for Humanity is a very, I was amazed, organized organization. They get things done, and it's not a fly-by-night. And we have Justin Hoke, who's our operations manager somewhere. I thought you left for me. Get up here. And he'll tell you a little bit more.
Thank you, Chuck. I don't get to stand in front of a podium too often, so we'll see how this goes. The times I do, I like to mention I'm the son of a pastor. So if I take over, Chuck, you might have to. You said you promised me music coming up, but you might have to play me off like an award show, like if I start to go too long. So, yeah, as Chuck said, my name is Justin Hoke. I'm the operations manager, Habitat for Humanity of Franklin County, and we are extremely excited to partner with Menno Haven for the Hope House, which will be built in the Green Village area. It's going to be at Sutherland Court, so just a few miles from the campus here, and we're very excited about what's going to be happening. A lot of you are probably familiar with Habitat for Humanity in some regard, but just a brief history. Habitat for Humanity International was founded in 1976 in Americus, Georgia, and it was brought to Franklin County. The chapter opened in 1994. And so this is our 30th anniversary this year. So we are excited to have been in the community for 30 years. We have completed 56 projects throughout that time period, serving over 200 people, about 91 adults, I think, and the rest in children in those homes. So it is an organization. Our mission statement says that we seek to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And that's what we're doing. We're partnering with Menno Haven, bringing people together with what ended up being a team member who will be getting this home. And so we'll bring together volunteers and contractors and you as donors and volunteers as well to make this project a reality for this upcoming year. One of the great things I mentioned, we did 56 homes so far throughout Franklin County. This project is going to end up, by count, being our 60th finished project. So we have some things going on, and we think it's exceptionally great that it's falling in line with Menno Haven's 60th anniversary. So the 60th home in the county being built on the 60th anniversary of Menno Haven is a really fantastic endeavor. So we're very excited about that. I'm planning to stick around to the end here to answer questions. We'll talk about, Chuck will have a little bit more to say about this, but you know, if you have questions for me about Habitat or the volunteering process, I'd love to spend a few minutes talking with you, and just appreciate the time. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, Justin. You got a lot of work ahead of you. Billy, you can work your way up here, but while she's working her way up here, you know that we don't know who applied. They met, had meetings, and it all goes through the board at Habitat. They have to be approved by FHA. They actually get a loan. This isn't free, but at no interest. And their income, it equates to their income, so it's affordable. And they have to take classes in finance, housekeeping, and other things to get the home. It's pretty neat. So the big thing is, and you need to listen to this, Billy, volunteering, because if you volunteer, you get this beautiful nail bag. I put it on this morning, it fell down, almost tripped over it. So, but you will get one. It's very nice. If you don't want to put nails in it, use it in the kitchen or at home.
Okay, so yes, if you would like to volunteer to help build the Habitat House, at the back of the room when we're finished here this afternoon, if you'd like to pick up a flyer that tells you how you can get on to the Habitat's website and register to become a volunteer. There is an application that you need to fill out along with signing a waiver, a liability waiver, code of conduct, and then watch a safety video. And it walks you through all those steps. There's a QR code on here that you can just scan and it takes you right to the application and you can fill out. Or if you don't want to fill out online, we have paper applications as well that you can fill out and I can get them to Justin. You won't actually be volunteering through Menno Haven. You'll be volunteering through Habitat with this particular project. We are looking for volunteers to be starting around about September 9th, maybe about that time, maybe not quite that soon, but sometime around there. We're looking at Tuesdays and Thursdays being the days to volunteer from about 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we'd like to have about 8 to 10 volunteers each day at the house, depending, whatever we're doing that day. So, and there's always somebody there to give instructions of what you would be doing that day. Is there anything else you'd like to add about that? Sounds good. I have to admit, I almost didn't recognize Justin when he walked in. He cut all of his hair off. He had longer hair the last time I saw him, and I was like, oh, that's Justin. So I was like, who's this person coming in? So, yeah, so certainly at the back of the room, again, the poster and application, if you would like to sign up to help us, and we're really hopeful that many of you will sign up and go out. There's something for everybody to do. I believe it. So, painting, hanging drywall, yes, we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin and Billy. Also, in the next week, I think you'll be getting a mailer with this information, but you'll also be getting an envelope. And on it, you can check, I would like invited to the groundbreaking, okay, on the 4th. I think it's going to be at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Oh, I can't see that back there. And you can check that, or you can check that you want to volunteer, and we'll get a hold of you. But of most importance, this envelope opens up. And if you want to put anything in there here, now be nice, okay? But we have to raise these funds, and it's a great thing, and it is tax deductible. We're a 501c3. So please consider that. So I think the nice thing about it gives team members and residents to get to know other residents better, to get to know team members working together. And I think it'd be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I can hardly hammer a nail, but I'll do what I can. So, okay, we also, I've talked to you before about Branch Creek. It is our community outreach. We run the senior center in Shippensburg. Also, we run the Meals on Wheels out of that, and I forget how many hundreds of meals we do a week. There's over 200 members, and most of them do not have the resources to come here, but they need somewhere to go and to see their faces. And they have programs, they play bingo. They made over $8,000 in peanut butter eggs that they sold at Easter. You talk about good, we sold them here. I can't imagine that. They said at the end they're a little tired of making eggs, but they help support themselves. But we run about a $50,000 deficit, so we're trying to raise funds. Now, it'll be the first time we've done an appeal for this on an annual basis. So I'm trying to get it up. You got to do it the right way. And so you'll be getting more information on this. We've already got about So. Also, Menno Cares, and I think you know about that, it's a program for our team members. We buy book bags for the kids that are going back to school. We also have where they can get diapers for their baby and formula. And also, if they can't pay their electric bill, the family's having financial troubles or a car repair, we do have a committee, and they do pay these. And it's amazing. I started an appeal with our team members here about a month ago to do payroll deduction, because if you don't see it, you don't realize it's gone. And a lot of people have sent in forms. I've done payroll deduction for over 18 years. So a lot of those funds already have come from their fellow teammates. And that's a great place for you to give. Okay, the other thing we always need is automobiles. We really need them for Menno Haven at home. They use quite a few, and we occasionally need them for rehab or health care centers. If you're not driving anymore, it's a great thing to donate it. We'll value it and give you a letter that is appropriate for the IRS. And a maintenance truck, of which a resident came in this morning. Did you find one, Chuck, yet? I said, well, Jim Metz is looking for one. When you find it, give me the bill. I'll write you a check. God bless him. And he's done a lot of other things for us. So I think that's great. These are just some of the things we've done so far this year. We've done the dog park. You know, we have a beautiful dog park down there. A lot of dogs, and they're all smiling because they love the place. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, many of them meet down there with a bottle of wine or something else, and they have a good time too. So we put in gates. We need to make it a little bit bigger, 16 foot of gates, so we could open up the small and the large dog park. Because what we found out was that we didn't have to worry about the big dogs. The big dogs were scared of the little dogs. But it's working out pretty good. And the other one is, we just got this up in June, back of the north field on the Macadam Trail, leading off the trail back along the creek. We had a gazebo that was falling apart. So we put some yellow tape on it, and I put out a newsletter that we needed 10,000. Well, the next day when the residents called me, he says, Chuck, I was walking down there, and I said, I'm going to make it there. I know I can sit down there. And she got there, and she said, I couldn't sit down. It had tape all on it. How much do you need? I said, 10,000. She said, I'll bring a check down tomorrow. So if you see a lot of things taped up around here, you'll know why. We're going to raise some money. Okay. We also did at the healthcare center at Chambers Point on the north side. We had a place they could sit out there, but didn't have. But the residents, if we put them out there, they could. I hate to say get away, but we don't want to lose anybody. Put up a fence, and we put up a gate that has a code, or it works with the cars to get in, so they can go out there and sit. And we feel comfortable. We've got new furniture too. Also in the manor on the front, we got new furniture, just came a couple of weeks ago, for the patio out front, and they really sit out there a lot, so that's great. The other thing we're getting ready to start on, and we have a resident at Chambers Point's already give us the money, and it's not cheap. We're doing the total salon over there. It's going to be state of the art. We're getting 2 sinks, go up and down. You know, sinks are expensive. They're $5,500 a piece. But you go buy anything now, a piece of lumber, it's unreal. But we hope to start on that sometime in early fall, get new chairs, and everything in there will be redone. So I know they're excited about that. And even though you may live over here, you can go over there and get your hair done. Now, what I think is a neat thing is food service came to us, and they said, we need cars to deliver meal. And of course, if we buy one, we got to buy 2 because we got another campus. And our CFO, Ryan, says, I hate to do that. You know how many vehicles we got? We got to pay inspection. We got to get licenses. We got upkeep. Let's get golf carts. Okay, so I researched it, and we found out on Warm Spring Road this golf cart place that took used ones and rebuilt them. So Jeremy and Bill and I and Ryan and Ed Garman, who is a resident at Chambers Point, and he's had a couple of golf carts. We went out there and we designed one that would be adaptable to delivering meals. And of course, Ryan really got into this because I already raised the money, so I wasn't spending the company's money. We put big wheels on it for the winter, for snow. We have it closed in. They had a beautiful green steering wheel up there. I said to the owner, I said, boy, we'd like that. He said, that's the only one I have. Nobody would want that terrible green. I got out my business card. I said, that's our green. And we'll take it. And food service designed a special box for the back, and that can carry all the meals in. And so we're excited. I'm going to have Bill come up here, and you're going to be lucky because you're going to be the first ones to see it. They were just delivered. And Bill's going to talk about, how you can utilize this.
Thank you, Chuck. As Chuck said, we went out to a place called Battery Express and looked at some used golf carts and talked to those folks about getting them retrofitted to meet our needs for the culinary department and meal deliveries. And happy to say, actually, about an hour ago, the carts were delivered. So there's one over at Chambers Point, and there's one actually parked right out back here of the Life Center. You can definitely go and take a look at it after. It's the nice white cart, and it has a nice aluminum delivery box on the back that will be able to hold all of your meals for deliveries. Previous to us getting these golf carts, we had our team members using their personal vehicles to drive meals around and do the deliveries, which just is not right to do. So we felt the need that we needed some kind of a vehicle for the deliveries, and Chuck got the ball rolling with getting the golf carts. Our deliveries over at the Chambers Point campus have really picked up in the past several months. We have residents that we deliver lunch and dinner to every single day. And then we have some residents who we deliver 1 or 2 times a week to. And then over here on this campus, we obviously do a ton of deliveries out of Northgate, so that's where the vehicle for this campus will be parked. All of our menus are available on the portal to take a look at if you're interested in getting a delivery. And over at the Chambers Point campus, we have several residents who have signed up with us, and we do the deliveries, like I said, on a daily basis for if they have a medical condition or had to stay at the hospital and they can't really get out to the grocery store or get out for those meals. We set that up on a daily delivery for those residents. So if you have the need, please reach out to myself or Brian Lucas, and we can get the meals set up for you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Bill. And now you have to think when you see it, looks a little bland now, but we're going to get it wrapped with the Menno logo, which is Sprout Man. And we're probably going to put the numbers for each campus on the back that you call. And looks pretty sharp. It goes pretty fast. But I got to thinking, I don't know if we do it, but you all remember Mr. Softy trucks? Maybe we'll get a Mr. Softy golf cart with a bell. And as it comes in your neighborhood, you guys can line up. And we will give all residents a discount, so don't worry. Possibility, though. Okay, moving on. Heritage Week. I'm a big person on legacies because I work with a lot of people on their plan gifts, their estate plan. And Will Rogers had said in the 1920s, he said, the greatest thing you can do in your life is how you live in your life and how it will influence and inspire generations to come. And Menno sure has. I mean, the stories, I'd be up here all day telling you stories because I was here the first week it opened. It's just amazing. And I remember we did the 50th 10 years ago. It seems like yesterday. I don't know where those years went, but we're going to have a full week up here. I'm going to let Tiff, you want to talk about these again? Tiff really gets into this, and thank God she's a CEO. And and we'd like for all of you to take part in all of this because it's going to be a lot of fun. After we looked at it, it's going to be a lot of work. So we think we'll take the next week off.
So starting with Monday, you should have received this in your Haven Connect, and we've been talking about it. I did a brief video about it as well. But we are going to kick off with Pie Day. Live and Let Pie, I think, is the theme. And the idea is to really think back to when the residents and volunteers created pies to be served at our original nursing home. And you know, we like a healthy competition around here. So we are asking you as residents, we've asked team members, we've asked departments to combine and get a recipe of the pie of their choice. And then we'll do the judging on Monday for the best pie. And then whoever wins the best pie, that recipe will be taken to our culinary center and pies will be baked and created. And we will serve pies on Thursday, which is our 60s day. All right. So I know. Have you been asked to be a judge for Pie Day?
No, I can't eat that.
I know. I'm not sure how okay, I see a volunteer. So yeah, I'm not sure who's going to judge that day, but I'm like, goodness, that's a lot of pie. But we'll come up with a plan. So Monday is going to be, again, just a think back to whenever we canned. Many of us have memories of doing corn, and the corn was then used for our residents in the healthcare settings, and of course the homemade pies. And then going to Tuesday, what's it say? Oh, Menno Haven Colors Day. Yeah, I can't see nothing back there. I know. Steve, you try to do all these wonderful things so we can see. Nothing. So Menno Haven Colors Day is on Tuesday. So even if you did not purchase one of the long sleeve news shirts, if you have any other Menno Haven shirt or hat or scarf or anything of that nature, you're welcome to wear it that day. We are going to try to get a team member large anniversary picture done. That's something that's happened here several years now. And so, Chucks, you're the best. Thank you. I can see this now. I got progressive glasses. I can see anything right in front of me. So that's going to be a great day. But Wednesday, if you can't make anything else, you have to make Wednesday. Wednesday is our cardboard boat regatta. I assure you, I promise you my paycheck that week, you will not be disappointed. Okay? You will not be disappointed. I have heard that we have at least 10 boats already, right? So all I had to do was get these inflatable little things last year and everybody rode their arms off. So now they're building boats. But it is just a fantastic time to come out, bring your lawn chair. You will meet your neighbors, meet new friends. It is just a fabulous day of camaraderie. We'll have the ever famous Menno Haven hot dogs available and some ice cream, and it is just a really, really good time. Now I'm going to fast forward to Friday because if it rains on Wednesday, we're going to push the cardboard boat regatta race to Friday. So Friday is anything goes day. So there are going to be some fun races. You know, Bill's out here showing off this new golf cart, and we decided we're going to have to do some sort of golf cart race with the culinary team and see who spills the least amount of spaghetti in the bucket or something. But at Anything Goes games, you know, I told the group this morning that I was inspired by, have you all seen that commercial from Domino's with the young man that's making wrapping and folding the pizza boxes? And Domino's Pizza did a nationwide chain campaign so that stores would put up their fastest box maker against everybody. And then they made a commercial with their worker who was the fastest box maker. And I grew up on a chicken farm where we had a 2-story chicken house that when the peepees came, they had to be hand fed. And so you made boxes that the feed went into. And I was the best box maker. That's what my daddy said. So any neighborhood boy that came in and he paid to help, stand aside. So it inspired me then to really try to come up with this anything goes game. So we're trying to think of unique things. Maybe it's dishwashers who can clean these XYZ pots the quickest. Our healthcare centers. I'm not quite sure we're going to strap people in beds and do hospital bed races, but we're going to come up with something fun, I promise you. And the idea will be is we're going to video these and kind of do like a docu-series. And then at some point in the afternoon, hopefully on Friday, because we want the race to be on Wednesday, we'll invite everybody to come in and view this craziness, this docu-series. And I'm sure we'll have refreshments. And I don't want to forget Thursday. That's going to be our 60s day. Again, we're going to have the winning pie recipe, pies baked, and have themed events happening that day. I believe there's car shows, there's live music. If you're really in a party kind of mood, you can hang out at Chambers Point in the morning. You can come over here in the afternoon and sing and dance and look at cars all you want and enjoy some 60s fun. And then Saturday, we're really going to celebrate our team members with our team member picnic that will happen on the front lawn of Chambers Point. This is where we want our team members to bring all their families. There's games, there's bounce houses, there's tons of food to really say thank you to them. And then we're not done yet. We'll all be coming back for the music fest in the evening to help the auxiliary celebrate. And then on Sunday, the Lord said, rest. So opening ceremony the Sunday before, on Sunday, September the 15th, which is going to kick off that week celebrating. That will be here in the event center. You will be getting an invitation. If you are someone that does not like a crowd, we are going to have watch parties at a variety of different places. So it will be streaming live in our healthcare centers, our personal cares. We'll have, again, these watch parties, so there'll be refreshments set up there as well, so we can live broadcast our opening ceremonies for Heritage Week. And then you'll get sick of hearing me talk about it. We're going to talk about it until it happens. Okay?
Hey, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, and please attend. You'll have a lot of fun, get to make a lot of new friends. One thing that's really special here is we have a few scholarship funds, and one we have is a Meals Memorial Scholarship. It was started by Mrs. Meals, and this was probably 25 years ago, and I happened to be president of the trust company then, and I was sitting back here in her cottage, and we were writing her trust up, and she wanted to help children of our team members, and from 8th to 12th grade, and they had to write an essay. They had to apply. They had to write an essay about their dreams in life and what education they wanted to get. Well, this year's winner, Jacob Summer, is in 8th grade, believe it or not. So, but he qualified, and very sharp kid, and we send the money to the school. We don't know where he's going, so we have to escrow the money for 5 years, but we can easily do that. But it's a great program. The other one is the Elaine Shepherd. We had 2 recipients this year. Elaine Shepherd was a resident here, and about 15 years ago, her daughter, Beth Luca, and son-in-law, Paul, set up this for any worker at Chambers Point who wanted to get education, more education in healthcare. And we have 2 recipients this year, Autumn and Brianna, and they're going on for either an RN or an LPN. And we hope they stay here. And out of all the scholarship, we've probably given 40 out of this one. Probably about half has stayed, but they get other opportunities. So it really helps them. And they really smile when we send them a check. And then the last one is the William and Irene Rover Memorial Fund. brain's going faster than this thing. But they started this, and I remember working with them. They were great people, and she was in the nursing center for a long time, and her husband was in a cottage, and before he passed, he wanted to do this because she did get great care. And they funded it. We've probably given over 30 scholarships in the last 15 to 18 years. These are the last 4 because we ran out of money, and all 4 of these qualified, and we just took the money and we split it up. So anyone would like to do a set up a scholarship fund, you know where I am. I'm right upstairs. So just let me know. And the last thing I'd like to say is how appreciative I am and what makes us special here. And I don't have a slide for it because it'd be too much to put on it, is our chaplains here. They happen to report to me, of course, as Lori, our senior chaplain, knows I'm not much of a manager. So she just tells me what to do. But they're great. And what they do to help people. I mean, we've had, regrettably, in the first 6 months, a very high death toll. That's a bad thing about Menno. People die. And they're there to help people. My mother-in-law passed 2 weeks ago, and I can't tell you how helpful they were. We're having a memorial service Saturday here. On her birthday, she would have been 98. So she had a good life, but they were there the whole time. And it really helped my wife get through it. And some of you have probably had them work with you, but know that they're there. And then we all have down times, and they're there to talk to you and to help you through it. That's what makes us different. It's a great place. Well, that's about all I have to say. And Tiffany says, thank God. So I'll get out of here.
Well, that is it for our formal agenda. We now have the opportunity to open it up to the things that are on your mind. For any questions, it looks like Billy has the microphones here, so we can hear your questions and have that be broadcasted out to our neighbors watching from home. So raise your hand if you have any questions. Of course, if you're not comfortable speaking out in front of everyone, we'll hang out afterwards, of course, to speak one-on-one.
Tiffany,
Yes.
when they close the pool at Northgate for whatever they're going to do, how long do you think that pool will be closed? Do you have any idea?
I'm thinking 2 weeks.
And have they made any decision about the pool at Village Square?
So the question was, how long will the pool be closed at Northgate when it needs to be resurfaced? And we are planning for about 2 weeks. And has there been any decision made about the next plans for the Village Square pool? Not at this time. Not at this time. We're still wrestling with some budgetary items and the true vision of the future there. So I don't have an answer yet. I think I saw Marcia's hand over here.
All right, let's see if this one works.
It's on. I could hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
That's good.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I'm sorry about that. You announced that there is to be paving done over on the other campus between the Renaissance and the Manor. And you also announced that you're going to be removing the concrete piece. It's not very wide, but the concrete walkway there. Does that mean there'll be no concrete, safe pedestrian way between the 2 buildings outside anymore?
Very likely we'll probably, so the question was that if you are familiar with in front of the Manor and the Renaissance, there is it's brick, but it's not really, a wall, a white wall. And at the edge of the driveway, there is a skinny concrete sidewalk that is at the edge of that macadam and the wall. The piece we did not mention is between the concrete and the wall is a strip of dirt, of mulch and things of that nature. And it has over the years caused an uneven surface and has been notorious for causing falls. So digging out the concrete and taking the asphalt all the way over flush to the wall will eliminate this rippled surface. And then very likely we will come in and paint sort of a pedestrian area, sort of like how the bike areas are. It is an extremely wide driveway, and there is a sidewalk on the opposite side of that drive area, but the majority of folks tend to walk along the wall. But at this time, no, we are not ripping out the sidewalk or ripping out the skinny sidewalk, ripping out the asphalt, and putting in a larger sidewalk.
This recommendation or suggestion is directed at the landscaping people. For the pond at Chambers Point, where the races have been, I guess, forever, maybe the weeds on the inside interior wall of the pond could be addressed.
Okay, I will take that under advisement. Mr. Forsythe?
Tiffany,
Yes.
the house is being built on Scotland Avenue. You got a timetable when they might be completed?
All in, I'm thinking spring, summer of 2026. Is that true? 2025, 2026. I don't know. I'm trying to picture the calendar in my brain. I think the last one is scheduled to begin in the spring of 2026. So that would take us summer. So we have a couple going up here now. That'll take us through 2025, or it might be beginning fall of 2025 for a spring 2026 move-in. Other things on your mind? My goal was to keep us to an hour and a half. We're going to get out early. Hallelujah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for your questions and your attention. Have a fabulous afternoon.